I'm Supervisor Patrick. In today's exciting video, the Sprinter Bridge. There are a couple of things that will make a bridge run smooth. As a supervisor, your number one job is to guide the operator through the route so they don't get lost. And number two, to sweep the platform for stranded passengers. Make sure everybody is taken care of. You'll want to have a clipboard with you to keep track of your location, the time you arrived, how many passengers boarded, how many passengers departed, and your departure time. Call all that into OCC after every stop. As we leave the loading zone, make this immediate left turn at the stop sign. We are still in the parking lot, but this is considered Michigan. As we begin the bridge, be sure to call OCC as you approach each station. This way, announcements can be made in advance of your arrival, giving passengers a heads up on why the train is late and that the bus will be transporting them. When you reach Tremont, make a right turn. As a bus operator, you want to work closely with the road sup. Stick with him and follow his lead. He will keep you up to date regarding changes along the route. Also, help by keeping track of how many passengers are boarding and exiting at each stop. You and the road sup will compare notes so that we can keep an accurate passenger count. Passengers ride for free. They've already paid on the train. Be sure you set your destination sign as a Sprinter Bridge. These are the codes. 142 is a Sprinter shuttle heading eastbound to Escondido. 143, the Sprinter heading westbound to Oceanside. Turn right when you reach Oceanside Boulevard. Be aware of that pedestrian in the corner. Watch your right rear mirror. Take the turn slowly. Make sure that right rear tire clears the curb. And remember, look around, look ahead, leave room, and communicate. Make a left turn at Cleveland. You may think you just turned into a back alleyway, and you actually did, but this is the correct way. Godfrey is up ahead, and you make a left turn there. The Sprinter rail system connects Oceanside, Vista, San Marcos, and Escondido. This rail system runs 22 miles east to west along the Highway 78 corridor, serving 15 stations. The approximate one-way trip length is 53 minutes. The Sprinter Bridge will normally take a half hour longer than that. You are now approaching the Coast Highway train station. Pull up to the stop sign and park here to wait for passengers. If there's a parked car at that spot, just double park, because your next move is to turn sharply left onto Tremont. So don't try to pull forward. There is minimal traffic in this area anyways. The road supervisor is going to leave you for a moment to pull into the parking lot and check the platform for stranded passengers. Wait for his return, compare notes, then proceed together to the next stop. If a bus does pull forward by mistake, there is a second drive into the parking lot that can be used to safely turn it around. But this lot can get busy at times, so try to avoid that move. The important thing is to communicate and act as a team. Just a note, this is a 360-degree film, so if you click, hold, and drag your mouse around, you can actually look around your environment. But try to get back to center so you don't miss anything. We've cleared this station, now we continue together on Tremont. Take Tremont to the next turn, which is Oceanside Boulevard. Make a right, and continue forward to the Coast Highway. The Sprinter operates 7 days a week, connecting at buses at each station. You could run a bridge any day of the week. Here are those codes again. 142, Sprinter shuttle eastbound. 143, Sprinter shuttle westbound. We are now crossing Coast Highway, heading east on Oceanside Boulevard. We all know that Oceanside Boulevard is a long stretch, so let's jump ahead to Greenbrier Drive, which is a light just before Crouch Street, our next stop. This is the 318 stop right here, and we used to use this stop for the Sprinter Bridge. But not only are you working on a very busy street, but the train passengers cannot see you. The station is up there on the right. So, we have developed a new pickup drop-off spot. What? And thank you, NCTD, for this great recommendation. It's a good idea. Supervisor Russell, our most experienced and knowledgeable supervisor, will show us the new route. So let's continue straight on Oceanside Boulevard to the Crouch Street intersection. Here it is. We'll be making a right turn. It is a tight turn, but we are turning into 2 lanes, so it is definitely doable. Let's watch Russell maneuver the turn. Note, as he watched his right rearview mirror, keeping an eye on those poles on the corner. Let's take a bird's eye view of the turn. Note that the bus's left front bumper is just grazing the center line, while his right rear tire is just clearing the curb. Good job, Russell. That was a perfect maneuver. Just be sure to go slow and square your turn. I'd like to have the drone a little closer to the bus, but note all the wires and poles in this area. It takes a very experienced and fearless pilot to fly a drone in an area like this. If you know one, put me in touch. So obviously there's going to be a railroad crossing around the corner. The bus is approaching the tracks now. Supervisor Russell, as he approaches the tracks, taps his brakes lightly to let the traffic behind him know that he's going to stop. He makes a complete stop at the 15-foot white line. Let's watch Russell. He's checking his mirrors, checking them twice. He comes to his stop, looks left, looks right, left again, then rock and rolls to the right, glances quickly at the flasher toggle switch, and this is important. You do not want to hit the high idle toggle switch by mistake, which would stall the bus on the tracks. You would attract a lot of unwanted attention to yourself if you did that, and yes, it has happened. Alright, let's keep moving. That is a parking lot to the right. The bus will make a right turn on this road, just far side the lot. I don't think the road has a name, but it's probably an extension of Skylark. There are 2 driveways. We'll enter the lot by turning right into the first driveway. Tracks are straight ahead of us. Keep your speed down. Notice this large cutaway for passenger loading. Let's pull in there. Here comes the Sprinter now. You can see how visible we are to the train passengers, eye level. Let's check another perspective. Here is a sweeping view of the parking lot and tracks. Bus turns right into the first driveway, proceeds slowly ahead, turns left, and pulls into the loading zone. This is a perfect spot to pick up bridge passengers. The supervisor and operator can maintain line of sight with each other, the train conductors, and the passengers. Passengers will access the parking lot by that trail far side the ADA parking. It's behind that tree. Once the passengers have loaded and you've got the go-ahead to proceed from the supervisor, turn left at the second drive to exit the lot. The big vacant lot on the other side of the road is slated to be developed. Apartments, low-income, retail. At that time, I imagine this transit center will become much busier. The turn looks easy enough. Maybe. Let's watch Russell make the turn. Now I promised Russell that I wouldn't show any mistakes if any were made. But this is just too good of a training moment to pass up, even at the expense of Russell's flawless driving record. But notice the first mistake. He could have pulled up more and positioned himself closer to the ADA parking, without intruding on the parking spots, of course. Then he put the bus nose into the left lane to make the turn when he should be far to the right. Notice he is getting wedged between the chain link fence and the pole on the left rear. Russell is sweating bullets right now as he keeps a sharp eye on that pole. Come on, Russell, you can do it. Pressure's on. Take a deep breath. Check your mirrors. But of course, Russell made it. I told you he was a pro. Russell wanted to try again, so here goes. Note he is hugging the ADA parking spots and he's pulling forward as far as he can, and he is putting the nose of the bus into the right lane. He's waiting for that pedestrian down there. Make a complete stop and continue the turn with plenty of room to spare. The turn is deceiving because the open field to the right gives that false sense of room and openness. Thanks, Russell. You did a great job. I asked Russell how he became a bus operator. He said they hired him because he was so good at telling people where to get off. From here, you make your way back to Crouch Street and make a left turn. Remember, we have a railroad crossing. Now you may or may not see the Sprinter running during a bridge. Sometimes only a portion of the tracks are down, and that portion may open up while another stretch closes. Sometimes the bridge only runs in one direction, east or west. Sometimes it runs both ways, and it may go all the way to Escondido, or it may not. This is why it is important that the operator and supervisor work together and communicate at each stop. The supervisor is in constant communication with OCC on the radio. OCC is updating on the condition of the bridge. Because things change. A bridge can be chaotic, which is why they are a blast to run. Make a right turn back onto Oceanside Boulevard and continue straight. We'll jump ahead to Garrison. Make the right turn on Garrison. Continue to Industry, and then make a left. We are basically just accessing the El Camino Real Sprinter station, but if you haven't been there, these are the left and rights. Make the right into the station. and use the bus stop to plus and minus passengers. The actual tracks are on the other side of this creek, Loma Alta Creek, so you would lose sight of the supervisor as they get out of the car and look for passengers. Oftentimes, the supervisor is going to find passengers that did not hear the announcements due to earplugs or other distractions. There may be passengers who are confused due to a language barrier, and others just choose to wait for the train service to reopen. The bridge will normally take about a half hour longer than the train to complete the entire run to Escondido, if anyone asks. So we have left the station and are now heading back to Garrison to make a right turn, then to make another right turn onto Oceanside Boulevard because we want to continue east on Oceanside Boulevard. Ignore the bus stops. Remember, we are a train. Here's the 309 northbound bus getting into position to make a left turn. I better get out of his blind spot. We continue straight through the El Camino Real intersection. If passengers do want to be left off at random bus stops, you need to politely inform them that you are running as a train, and to stay on schedule as best you can, you need to stop only at train stations. We are approaching the Rancho del Oro station. Do not try to pull into these small driveways on the right. Go up to Rancho del Oro Road and make a right turn. You will find another drive ahead to the right here, which is safe for a bus to maneuver. Enter the park and ride, and park in the second bus stop. Again, the rail boarding area is out of sight over a small bridge, so be patient. Wait for the road supervisor to catch up. Once you have communicated with the road sup, compare notes, go straight ahead and make a right turn and continue straight on Oceanside Boulevard. We recently ran a bridge that bounced back and forth between Rancho del Oro and the El Camino station, so we needed to turn the bus around. We could not make a left turn out of Rancho del Oro. U-turns are forbidden. So in this case, we continue straight through Rancho del Oro, merge into the left lane, make a left at the next light, which is Corporate Center Drive. Basically just squaring the block. I'm not going to drive us through this route so as not to confuse, but it is not uncommon to have to turn around at this point, and it is not immediately evident to most operators on how to do that. But you basically just square the block. After turning left on Corporate Center, take that up to Ocean Ranch Boulevard, make another left, which will take you back to Rancho del Oro, where you make another left and follow Rancho del Oro back to Oceanside Boulevard. Turn right, and you are now heading west. But for now, we'll continue straight across Avenida del Oro to the College Boulevard stop, known to us as the Panda Express stop. You are going to want to wait here until the road sup rounds up the passengers. The train boarding area is on the other side of this Panda Express shopping center, so for the road sup's benefit, I will demonstrate how to find the train passengers. Continue straight on Oceanside Boulevard to the first drive and make a right, entering the shopping center. Then at your first chance, by the Chase Bank, make a right turn and go down to where the parking lot opens up. This route is for cars only, no buses. We have a wheelchair in traffic up ahead, so be aware of that. Notice the College Boulevard Sprinter sign? Turn left here, and then just make your way around to the bridge entrance. Here is our ADA passenger again. Now if you look left, you'll see the entrance. I'm going to take a moment and show you the train station. Walk across the bridge. This is the station. And passengers heading east are going to be far side the tracks. Try to get everybody's attention. You want to explain to any train passengers that the bus is waiting for them up on the street at the bus stop. Tell them to simply follow the wheelchair path past the Chipotles to find it. We can't see the buses waiting from here, so it's not obvious to the passengers. Now just find your way out of the parking lot. Let's get back to the bus stop. Communicate with the operator on how many passengers boarded and exited, and let OCC know the passenger count and your departure time. And that's the College Boulevard station. We'll continue straight through College Boulevard, heading east to the Melrose station. We are now approaching the Melrose station. The gas station is your landmark. Do not use the 318 bus stop to board passengers, or else you will have passengers stumbling down a slope through the landscape. Continue straight to Melrose Drive, make a right turn, then turn into the gas station and drive to the right. Just pull up to the red curb and wait for the supervisor. The passengers can board and depart safely here, plus you as the operator have a nice line-of-sight view of the station to the left. When it's time to leave, follow the driveway to the right to Oceanside Boulevard. You'll be making a right turn to continue east. Move to the left to get out of the turn-only lane and prepare to cross the Melrose intersection. Rock and roll, cover your brakes if possible, and continue straight. This is where Oceanside Boulevard turns into Beaubier Drive. We're leaving Oceanside and entering Vista. The next big intersection is Santa Fe Avenue. You 303 operators will know where you're at now. The time point to the right was closed at this filming, but you don't care because you are our train and you don't make those stops. Let's jump ahead. Orange Street is a crossing before the Vista Transit Center. Now this stop here can be used as a VTC drop-off point, especially if your bridge is over and this is your last stop. However, the left and rights direct you into the transit center. So let's continue into the transit center. If you aren't familiar with this intersection with Vista Village, be prepared to make a railroad crossing stop as soon as you turn right. Okay, I didn't stop because I'm in a car and it would have been dangerous for me to stop, but you, 40-foot bus, stop, look, and listen. Now you make an immediate right turn on Olive into the transit center and use any available stall to drop your passengers off. You may have to direct your passengers to the Sprinter access, which is just beyond the customer service awning up there to the right. Now we continue to Escondido. Make the U-turn on Olive and head back to Vista Village. Stay in the right lane to turn. Once you're on Vista Village, go ahead and get into the far left lane. If some of these directions don't make sense to you right now, just remember that we always have to position the bus curbside to the train station so the passengers can enter safely from the sidewalks. You never want to drop passengers off so that they have to walk around the bus into oncoming traffic. I know that seems obvious, but I've seen it happen. And I've seen it end in a fatality. You will be turning left at the freeway to head east on the 78. We'll be exiting at the next freeway off-ramp, so stay in the right lanes. This is a note for the bus operators. Ideally, you will have a road supervisor who will guide you through the route and sweep the train platforms for stranded passengers. But you might be called on to run the route by yourself, so you do need to know the left and rights. Sometimes road supervisors are not available, or they're assigned to be positioned at each station. If you are running solo, this is what you need to know. Aside from transporting the passengers safely and comfortably, it is important to keep track of how many passengers are boarding and departing at which station, and to keep track of what time you arrive at the station and what time you leave. OCC will want this information at the end of the route. This far right turn lane will put you in the correct lane to park at the upcoming station. Just past Phillip Street, you'll see your turnout to access the Civic Center station. Here is a quick view of the station. You have a railroad stop immediately after you turn out, so watch for oncoming traffic. Wait for it to be clear. I stopped this time. Stay in the right lane, Santa Fe comes up quick, and you'll be making a right turn. We stay on Santa Fe/Mission all the way to San Marcos Boulevard, so we'll hop and skip to this part of the bridge. Here is that big, weird, diagonal railroad crossing, so proceed with caution. After crossing Robolini Drive, use this stop to service the Buena Creek station. I know I'm contradicting everything I just said about parking curbside and the train stations. This is not a great spot. If you watch these kids, they'll demonstrate why. Let's sit here for a second and let all the action pass. So there go those kids, running across the intersection. Can you believe the two brothers left their sister behind like that? Alright, let's move out. Drive a mile or so across Rancho Santa Fe where the road turns into Mission. At North Pacific Street, we have another weird diagonal railroad crossing. You stop, I don't. Shortly after that, we'll cross Las Posas, stay in the left lane to prepare to make the left turn into Palomar College Transit Center. Again, this is not a curbside stop for the Sprinter, but this is the best we can do. Passengers will have to use a crosswalk to access the bus, as will the road soup to access the station. As you turn into the Transit Center, you'll see a no left turn sign. Buses are exempt from this, of course. It's just telling regular cars that they're not to turn into the Transit Center. The left and right don't specify which stall to use, but the best is the first one, obviously, if it's available. Next best is any stall on this side, for visibility. Okay, let's get out of Palomar, turn left, we'll head down to the San Marcos station, and that is where we depart Mission Avenue. Here's the San Marcos stop. We'll turn right on San Marcos Boulevard. I find this turn a little awkward because of the angle, the pedestrians, and the tracks, but once you get through it, stay to the left. We'll be making a left turn on Twin Oaks Valley Road. We are getting close to the end of the bridge, so let's recap quickly. As a supervisor, remember to guide the operator through the route so that they can focus on the driving and the passengers and not be concerned about getting lost. And also to check all train platforms for passengers who need to be transported. I have seen supervisors in the past drive up to a station, stay in their cars, and then zoom off as soon as the bus arrives. I'm not sure who they think they are helping. You want to keep the bus in your rearview mirror and be sure to get out of your car, walk the platforms, instruct passengers on what is going on, and communicate with the bus operator and OCC. Sometimes you find NCTD employees at each station guiding the passengers, and this makes your job a lot easier. But a bridge can develop so quickly that they don't always have a chance to assist. We'll jump ahead over the freeway to Barham. We are now at Cal State San Marcos. Turn left on Barham and pull into the San Marcos station. The station is up top there, so make sure the road sweep runs up those stairs and sweeps that platform. Let's head out. We stay on this frontage road until it intersects with Mission. The bus operator wants to focus on being safe, welcoming passengers aboard, making them feel comfortable, and to keep track of how many people are boarding and departing, and to also work with a supervisor as part of a team. And once again, here are those destination sign codes. 142 is eastbound, 143 westbound. We have tracks here. This is an easy crossing to maneuver. Just be sure the light is green before you advance. The train is immediately to your right. We have good visibility of the station here. Cross over Nordal, and let's jump ahead to Quince. Make a right turn. We're almost finished now. You can see the Escondido Transit Center on the right. Turn right at Valley Parkway. We'll drop the passengers off where the MTS buses normally sit, just near side the tracks. Congratulations, you have successfully completed the eastbound Sprinter Bridge. Once you've dropped off your passengers, check in with OCC one more time, then head back to base. To get back, simply go straight on Valley Parkway until you see the 15 freeway north. Be aware of the rail crossing directly ahead. And that's it. We'll see you again on the westbound bridge.